What's going on YouTube? This is Cresta, and today I'm going to show you guys, ta-da, the Fusion Combo deck. So the basic purpose of this deck is to bring out in one turn Staryuja, Winda, Darklaw, Colossus, and Mechaba. And if sometimes as an added bonus you can get Raijin as well, but that happens rarely, like probably twice in my whole time of ever playing this deck. I'll show you how later. If you want to know, really know how to bring out these kinds of fields, I have a video down here which shows you a lot of first turns that I've done to get the field out. Obviously it's susceptible to hand traps and ring sphere mode and evenly matched, whatever. If you want to have fun with the game and not have to deal with playing FTK decks and the same decks over and over again, play this deck. There's literally no other deck in the world that can bring out this kind of field in one turn. So have fun with the game, guys. But yeah, there is some consistency issues every now and then, but I'd say you can get the field out like 3, maybe, I want to say 3 out of 4, but 3 out of 4 games, but realistically it's probably more like 1 out of 4 maybe. I mean, it happens a lot, but there are hand traps out in the world, so you gotta get the right hand and not have to deal with hand traps. But it's a very fun deck to play solitaire with, because the way I think about this deck is like it's a puzzle. You get a hand and you try like fit the pieces together until you get the basic field, as I like to call it. So anyway, let's get on with the deck. I'll get on with more ramblings as we go along. First off, we have Stratos. This card was banned for a reason, so you gotta have him in here. He's a pretty good card. Shadow Mist gets your mass change out. Malicious is a pretty cool card nowadays, so I hear. And Vyon. So those are the hero engine. Vyon is very crucial to getting out Winda because he gets Poly, which is the only way you can fuse to get Winda out. In Invocation, you can actually make other fusions besides invoke monsters, but we're going to use Polymerization to get Winda. So I play only one Polymerization for that purpose. Another card you can consider playing instead of the second Vyon would be Solid Man. There have been times where I wish I had Solid Man, but majority of the time I wish I had more Vyons. So I play 2 Vyons instead. It worked out. It works out still pretty well. Armageddon Knight, because Vyon doesn't mill Shaddolls, and you need to get Shaddolls to your hand somehow to get the cool field. So I have 1 Armageddon Knight in here, because he also mills with melee, but he's another target that's special with the Soul Day. In case you've already triggered Vyon, you can also trigger Armageddon Knight in the same turn. Get your Shaddoll out with your Hedgehog. Yeah. Dragonox, you're going to get to your hand. I forgot to mention, the basic field is Staryuja or Decode all the fusion monsters, and Dragonox to protect your field monsters, your fusion monsters from battle. So that's really cool. And so this is the primary target you would always usually search out with the Soul Day. And there's also Dragodies. So if you have Dragodies or Dragonox in your hand, you can search out the other pendulum piece, set your scales, and just drop your hand and then make your field. And after you make your field, obviously they're protected with your pendulum cards from battle once again. So it serves a dual purpose. Also, Dragonox is a dark, so you know, if you need another dark material to make your window with your Shaddolls, there's that option. It pops up every now and then actually. Oh, and they're warriors, so a Soul Day and Synergy. Always a fun thing to do. For Shaddolls, we have Beast, Hedgehog, and Squamata. I don't know why I specifically chose this ratio. Really, any ratio kind of works, but I just felt more at home with this ratio. I used to play Falco, but I realized I've never ever flipped Falco for its effect, and he kind of just like clogs the field. So I took him out in favor of another Beast, and it's working out pretty well. I do want to fit in another Hedgehog in here somehow, but I don't know. I think 1's pretty good. This ratio is nice. For the Thunder Dragon engine, we have 3 Darks, 3 Hawks, and 2 Roars. So this is really powerful engine in his deck, thanks to Goldstark. Because Goldstark basically means I put a monster on the field, and then I link it away to special summon a Colossus, is basically what that translates into. It's also dark, so that's nice. And yeah, it fixes hands too. So this deck does have a lot of bricks, I'm not gonna lie. It has equips, it has garnets, it has possible multiple copies of Mallies, whatever. Every deck in brick. This deck has bricks too. So Dragonhawk is really useful for that case, where I can just Goldstark and then just recycle hand, and then Saryuja, recycle hand, adds more consistency to the deck, which is very nice to have. So yeah, this brings out your Colossus. I only played 2 roars because this deck doesn't have any actual way to banish roar aside from Goldstark. So I just played 2. It works out very well. 3 clog, 2 worked very well. That was what my experiment showed me. So in case you're wondering what the reasoning is, that's why. 3 Lonefires, 3 Scorpios, and 1 Cobra. So getting out Brilliant Fusion in this deck is super duper powerful, and it's basically like a very easy way to get out your basic field. Because not only can you like double summon, but you can also use your Seraphonite and your Trick Clown to make Alistair, and then you can, you know, search out your Invocation, and there you go, you have already Macabre puzzle piece there. So yeah, Lonefire's good for consistency and all that whatnot. It also searches out your instant fusion, and I'll get more into that later. Yeah, super duper powerful in this deck, that's why I maxed it out as much as I could. 1 Lazuli, 1 Garnet. Play this ratio because you send Garnet first, and for some odd reason, if you happen to send Lazuli to the graveyard, it brings back Garnet to your hand. Doesn't happen often, but it happens. I've once Brilliant Fusioned, sent Garnet and Trick Clown, made Alistair, and then I discarded from my hand Lazuli for Alistair's effect and got back Garnet. That's basically the only time that will probably ever happen, but you know, it's nice to have the option, and it's fun to do. 1 Trick Clown. Yeah, it's 1 Trick Clown. If you draw the Trick Clown, your Brilliant Fusions aren't dead. You can still send your Dragonhawk, which is your only other light in the deck. And I guess Dragodies too. But yeah, you already know what Trick Clown does. Brilliant Fusion, everybody already knows what that does. Polymerization. The only thing you can make in this deck of Polymerization is Winda. But if you don't make Winda, you can just, it's a free search for the Vyon to throw back in the deck with Saryuja or with Hawk. So it's not, it's only bad if you draw it, I guess. Invocation's cool with Alistair. Okay, Instant Fusion. So the Predaplant engine, you either search out Instant Fusion, Brilliant Fusion if you don't have either, and you would search out Instant Fusion if you already have Brilliant Fusion. It's nice to have the second target. Instant Fusion triggers the Alistair, and it brings out a warrior to the field to make Isolde and just extend your combo plays. So Instant Fusion is really good. I would play 3, but the restriction of you can only play 1 per turn sucks. So I opted for 2 instead. Yeah, so there's that. And then we have the equips. Yeah, this is what I like the best. Hero Lives. There is only 2 targets, but in a 60 card deck, the odds of you drawing both the targets is pretty low. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's impossible. It's just low. If it is dead, just throw it back in the deck. If you draw it and one or both of your heroes, elemental heroes, are in the deck still, it's super duper powerful. Like so good in this deck. Yeah, Hero Lives, good card. Goldstark triggers your Thunder Dragons. I already mentioned that. Mass Change brings out Ninkalaw. Rhoda, very powerful card in this deck. You know, all these warriors is pretty good. No need to say more. Monster Reborn, Soul Charge for your combo extensions. To get out your plays, here's the Call by the Graves. That rhymed. Yeah, and here is this 1 trap card to make the field longer. yeah. That's the main deck. Extra deck. We have Thousand Knives Restrict and invoked Raijin for instant fusion targets. So the way to get out in Raijin in this deck, it doesn't happen often. It does happen, but I thought I should mention it in case, you know, if it pops up for you guys. The way to get him out is the first instant fusion, and then bring him to the graveyard, and then Monster Reborn or Soul Charge him back on the field once you make your basic first turn field, or banish it with Phoenix Blade and then bring it back with DDR. That's really the only way. You can also play this card if you want to get him back, but I don't do that because if you have link markers, you should not be having any open if you're going to be making the basic first turn field. So, you know, I just thought I should mention it. Yeah, Raijin's really good. Isolde also, and it's good for like turning off slug other opponents' full game monsters. Winda's cool. Stratos Knight's cool. Dark Law's cool. Colossus is cool. Nakaba's cool. Yeah, those are your fusions you're going to be seeing very often when you're playing this deck. Proxy Dragon. This is actually one of the cards that you could take out if you want to like fit in something else. I just put in this deck because like there are times where I just need to get that monster on the field to the graveyard, but I have no way to do it other than like linking away another important monster. I don't want to do that, so like I just put him in there because if I really do run into a situation where I need that monster and another monster in the graveyard to either make room or because I need that monster in the graveyard, I have Proxy Dragon. That's the reason why he's in here. It pops up like every now and then, but not very often. Isolde is cool. Alistair's cool. He has a lot of synergy with this deck because he can discard your sword for a free search, or he can discard your Shaddolls for a Shaddoll trigger. And yeah, that's cool. 2 Saryujas, very easy to make in his deck, plus adds consistency. Yeah, no need to talk about that. Okay, so the way this deck works is that first you have Saryuja on one side of the field, and you drop 2 fusions there. Usually it's going to be a Dark Law or a Colossus or a Cobra in the leftmost or the rightmost column, depends on what your favorite is. I choose the leftmost. I don't know why, I just do. And then you use Saryuja and then some other monsters to move that link markers to the other extra link, extra zone to point downwards, and then you drop more fusions. That's how you're supposed to play this deck, to drop 4 fusions in one field. So if you only have 2 monsters, like somehow, then you would use Saryuja and the other monster, put the zone there, and then you have the markers pointing down to point to make more thing. If you have 3, which would be better, you can make Decode, have 2 markers down, make more thing, and if you have 4, or like a link 2 and 2 more monsters, make Saryuja on the other side, draw 4, put back 3, and then drop more fusions. That would be ideally the... Honestly, I probably would do Decode more, because like if you already have all your fusion monsters on the field, there's no point in drawing more monsters, more cards. I would usually more prefer make Decode to also add the benefit of your opponent can't target your field with like Widow Anchor or something. I don't know. Borload's another card that you can take out if you want to. I put it in here because I didn't know what else to put in here. He's really here because like if the opponent comes back from your field with like a sphere mode or something, or evenly matched, then he's here to make a comeback play. That's really it. On the note of evenly matched, I would probably play 3 copies of this card if you want. I can't find the room for it, that's why I don't play 3. But you could play 3 of these, that way you have a trap target to discard for a macabre effect to stop evenly matches. You could. I mean, I don't play competitively, so I mean, I don't really intend to make this deck competitive anyway. But you could do that. 3 because it's a trap and because it makes your field longer. So you could do that. Yeah, this deck's cool. Cards to consider. World Legacy Succession. Really good card. I just don't play it because I've never needed it. It makes your fields longer. In theory, it's really good. I just never needed it, you know? So I took it out. Yeah, whenever I drew it, I just make the field and this card is sitting here in my hand. It's like, what now? Empowerment is also a really good card. I do wish I could play this card, I just don't have the room for it. You know, right? 60 card deck and there's no room for something. Each and every single card in this deck is pretty integral. Empowerment was kind of like more like a win more, I guess you could say. It powers up if like, we got a lot of monsters on your field. You can discard like your Malicious or your Phoenix Blade to special empower monster to either make Alistair or Invoker. Alistair or a Soldate, I meant to say. That's really it though. I don't know. I took it out and I didn't miss it. It's cool though. I like it. I do like the card, but I'm taking the deck's like consistency more into consideration. Foolish. It seems sacrilegious to not play Foolish in the graveyard based deck, but I just never needed it. It's another one of those cards where like I can make the field and now have Foolish in my hand to kind of like just doing nothing. In theory, yeah, you can mill Mali or Shaddoll, but that's really only worth it. But they're already like easily taken care of by Hisode, bringing out like I don't know, Vyon or Armageddon if you need to. No, I just never needed it, so I took it out. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. Have fun playing the deck. It's super duper fun to play solitaire with, just to like make cool, badass looking fields. And yeah, consistency is, I think, is pretty decent for a fun deck. It's not consistent to play like at a YCS, although it would be pretty freaking cool to see this deck be a top at YCS for some odd reason. But this is just a really fun deck. That's all I'm gonna leave it as, guys. So go ahead, leave your hate comments about like consistency, bricks, blah, 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 blah. It's already been done. You're not cool. Anyway, so yeah, that's the fusion combo deck. I hope you guys like it a lot. I like it a lot. This deck's super duper fun. Like, super duper fun. If you don't get out the cool, like, 4 fusion field, plus the whichever link field, this deck does bring out, like, boss monsters pretty easy. Either be a Winda, or Dark Law, and a Decode. That's probably another common field. Colossus, Winda, or Colossus and Dark Law. Makaba, you kind of have to like sort of get out of your way. You can't really make Makaba without like having a lot of stuff already on the field. You could make it, but yeah, you know, whatever. Either way, this deck makes boss monsters very easy. Yeah, that's deck profile, guys. Hope you like it.